Good afternoon, students. Welcome back. I am making this video for Standard 10, Chapter 2, History, and the name of the chapter is Nationalism in India. This is the fourth part of the video, and today we will discuss about the civil disobedience movement. Today we will discuss about civil disobedience movement, rejection of first round table conference, and salt satyagraha, which was led by Mahatma Gandhi. In the previous class, we had discussed about some major movement which was written in the golden words in Indian history, such as the Khilafat movement of 1920 and non-cooperation movement 1921. Now, after the end of non-cooperation movement in 1922, India was moving towards another movement, that was the civil disobedience movement. Now, what led the Indian leaders and Mahatma Gandhi to start this civil disobedience movement against this British? Before moving to civil disobedience movement, we would discuss about some failures of this non-cooperation movement, means the mistakes that were committed in the non-cooperation movement. Now this non-cooperation movement was failed in certain areas, especially the tribal areas. Now there was one incident in which a tribal group, which was led by Alluri Sitaraman Raju. So this incident occurred in Hyderabad, in Andhra Pradesh, where this tribal community, they cannot make this movement successful. It was not like that they did not support the movement. They supported the movement, but because of their lack of skill, this movement could not spread in the tribal areas. This Sitaraman Raju, Alluri Sitaraman, he fought very bravely with the British. What was the reason? The reason was that they were trying to protect the forest from the British. So there were many incidences where we can say that this non-cooperation movement was not successful. Moreover, in the previous class we had also discussed about the khadi. This khadi, the Swadeshi garment, it was so expensive that the common people, the poor people, they could not afford to buy this khadi. Therefore, they migrated, they changed towards the Manchester garment. That means the British-made garments. So these are some of the points which prove that this non-cooperation movement was not at all successful that was expected by the Indian leaders. Now, in this video, we will discuss about the civil disobedience movement. Now, in after this non-cooperation movement, there was some series of movements that were being carried away, some political movements, some diplomatic and political movements that took place among the British and the Indian political leaders. Among those movements, there was a commission, there was a meeting whose name was Simon Commission. In the Simon Commission, this commission was made by Sir Simon, who was a British viceroy. And what he did not include the name of any Indian political leader in the commission. The Indian leader, so there was actually a rule where at least one Indian leader should be present in the commission, in the group. But this Simon, what he did not place a single name of Indian leader in that commission. The Congress, they boycotted this commission. And when this Sir Simon, he came to India, he was greeted with black flags. That was not actually a greet, it was an insult. And people who were holding black banners, and it was written over there, Simon, go back. So these are some of the series of movement. Secondly, the first round table conference, which was boycotted by the Congress leaders, where Mahatma Gandhi was supposed to be the part of that conference. But as the British declared that they are not going to accept any Indian demands, actually the Indian political leaders, they have placed series of demands before the British government. But the British government, because of their stubborn nature, they were not ready to accept a single demand which were made by the Indian political leaders, the Indian National Congress. And as a result, as an outcome of that, what happened? That Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress, both of them boycotted the first round table conference. Now all these small movements, these diplomatic movements, gave rise to this civil disobedience movement. What is the meaning of this word disobedience? Disobedience means the thing that the acts that are done for not obeying a law. So British had made certain laws in India, passed certain laws in India, where the Indian Congress, National Congress, they planned that, including Mahatma Gandhi, who planned that these laws should not be obeyed. So this movement started. One of the movement, the important movement, was the Salt Satyagraha. Now what is this Salt Satyagraha? It is a famous movement that was led by Mahatma Gandhi. Now this movement started. Now in this Salt Satyagraha, what happened? It was a part of the civil disobedience movement. Now why this Salt Satyagraha? Why this salt? How this salt came in between this Indian national movement? Now in order to make huge revenue and in order to punish the Indian people and in order to earn huge revenue from them, the British imposed a tax. The name of that tax is salt tax. So the British was regulating the Indian food habits by imposing this salt tax. Salt, which is an essential commodity for the Indians, and the British targeted this salt and placed a tax on it. They charged a tax on it where the Indians had to pay. The Indians started to protest against it. So was Mahatma Gandhi. So what actually this Salt Satyagraha was? In order to protest, so as we already know, we are discussing the civil disobedience movement. Now what happened? Mahatma Gandhi, he decided to disobey this salt tax. Now, this salt, now where the salt was manufactured? The salt was manufactured by the British companies. There was a monopoly right. Monopoly means that only the British could manufacture the salt and no Indian industrialist could manufacture the products, the salt products. So only the British could manufacture salt. So this was a monopoly, a special right that was with the British. And Gandhiji wanted to break this law. So what he did, he walked around 240 miles. He walked 240 miles from Sabarmati Ashram to a place known as Dandi in Gujarat. And he started with only 70 followers. And he walked by foot. He walked by feet, where he gathered more than 400 followers. And after reaching Dandi, what Mahatma Gandhi did, he sat on hartal outside the salt manufacturing industries, salt manufacturing factories. And what Mahatma Gandhi did, he trained the people that how to make salt from seawater. So before the factory, he started to train the people that what is the process of making salt. And he appealed the people that outside every salt factory, the people should start to manufacture the salt by their own, and to disobey each and every act that was passed by the British. Mahatma Gandhi also appealed to the tribals to enter the reserve forest, which was which was a restricted area for the Indian tribals, and to break through the reserve forest, which was a no entry zone for the Indians, especially the tribals, and to go inside that forest and to break the law. So the main intention of civil disobedience movement is what? That is, break the law. Break the law. Whose law? The British law. So break the law. So this was the civil disobedience movement and about salt satyagraha. So with that, I am wrapping up my video today, and I will come with the next part of this video, that will be part 5 of this video very soon. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and goodbye.